If you've been following my channel for a while, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on TikTok, you know that I have been fully invested into my wellness for about the past 6 years. I started my journey to lose weight around 2019, 2020. And then as time moved on, I started to incorporate so many other things into my wellness and health. And eventually just realized that my health is made up of so many different components and it's not just one thing or the other. And so wellness is something that I'm really passionate about. It's something that I did as a business for 2 years. I was a personal trainer for 2 years. I personal trained in corporate, and then I also had my own business as a personal trainer. So I had my own clients. I would travel to their homes, or I would meet them at a gym and I would train them. I also had online clients, which I still have a few online personal training clients that I write programs for. And yeah, so I did that for the past 2 years. I loved it, but I felt called to do what I'm doing now on YouTube, and that's what I'm focusing on for the next however long. And so I decided to take a step back when it comes to operating a fitness business. But wellness is something that I still practice every single day, and it's not something that I just want to not bring awareness to on my channel. And just what I share and promote is something that I value. It's a part of my principles. It's a part of my lifestyle. So I'm going to continue to share what my wellness journey looks like. So in today's video, I'm going to give you guys 10 habits that I brought into 2026. Some of these are new habits. Some of these are habits that I've been practicing for a long time. And just to give you guys an idea of what I do on a regular basis to stay healthy, to move my body, to, get in those things that help me to be an overall better person, help me overall feel good, and also just stay on this track of becoming and being the highest version of myself. So I have two categories. I have health and body, and then I have mind and spirit. So those are two different categories. I have 7 for one and 3 for the other. Of course, I do a lot of things on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, but these are the things that I really focus on and have been focused on towards the end of the year and going into this new year. So we're just going to get right into it. Some of these things you've probably heard of before. If you go look at my vlogs when I recorded, my routines and my workouts, some of these things you already know, but some of these things are new, and I'm excited to tell you guys about it. So we're just going to get right into it, starting with the health and body category. So one of the new habits that I brought into this year is having a warm cup of lemon water in the morning. And I've also set timers for myself to drink water more often. So warm lemon water. I've been seeing so many people talk about it regarding digestion. And so I was like, you know what? I want to incorporate that. I'm not really a tea person. I was at one point, but I just kind of it's not something that has stuck with me. But lemon water is something that I actually used to drink a lot when I first started my fitness journey, my weight loss journey, and it's something that I kind of just stopped doing. But I do drink lemon water when I go out to eat. So I was like, you know what, let me just bring this habit back, and I start to drink a warm cup of lemon water every morning. And I will say I have seen results regarding digestion. I have been using the restroom more. I have not been as bloated as I was before I started this habit, and I just feel more it definitely feel like it's detoxing my body. So I have a kettle, a hot water kettle. I don't know what people call it, but basically I just take a mug, and first of all, I buy about 1 to 2 lemons a week. I just went grocery shopping today. I bought 2 lemons that'll last me about a week or so, and I cut them up in slices, put them in a container, and then each morning I'll squeeze a slice of lemon into a coffee mug, and then I will pour some hot water on it. I'll heat my water up first thing in the morning before I even brush my teeth. I'll come in here, turn that on. It's already on my counter. Turn it on, and then I'll pour some inside of a mug with the lemon already in there, and then I'll put a little bit of cold water just to make it a little lukewarm. And yeah, I'll drink that every morning. So when I first wake up in the morning, I go to the restroom. I have to take a supplement. So I take that with a water bottle that I already have in the bathroom, and then I'll go and I'll start that, brush my teeth, and then I'll come out and drink the lemon water right before I head to the gym. And then if it's a day where I work at 5 a.m. in the morning, I'll still do it before I go to work. So that has been one of my top habits. I've done it consistently for the past couple of weeks since this new year has started, and it's something that I will continue to do. And then the other habit I said when it comes to water and my whole hydration is and digestion is setting a timer to drink water every 45 minutes. So I have a timer right here. It's at 42 minutes. I work a job where I am busy pretty much the entire shift. Like I'm not sitting at all. I sit when I go on break, and sometimes I don't really get a break, as unhealthy as that sounds, but just being realistic with what I do for work. And so sometimes, or it has been really hard since the past 6 months since I've been there, it has been really hard to keep up with my water intake. So I started a new habit this week with setting a timer for every 45 minutes. I'll go drink water. And this is my mug that I have. It's 40 ounces. And so I'll drink. There's a straw. I'll literally drink and I'll count in my head 10 seconds. That way I know that I'm getting in a good amount of water. And I do that every 45 minutes. And let me tell you, it's crazy how much water you can drink when you're very intentional about it. I drank 2 of these my first day doing it because I had this timer going. At first I did every 30 minutes, but that just became too much and I was having to go to the restroom a lot. And I was just like, yeah, no, I can't do that. So 45 minutes seems like the perfect like balance. An hour kind of feels like a little too far apart from each other. So 45 minutes is like my little sweet spot. So today's my off day, and I'm even doing it while I'm at home. Every 45 minutes, I'm making sure that I'm drinking some water. Of course, I can do 30 since I'm at home, and I can use the restroom as much as I want, but just to keep up with the routine and the habit, every 45 minutes. So that is the first thing, and that is a new habit that I have for 2026. And like I said, it's for my hydration and to help with digestion. Everyone knows that the more water you drink, the more you can flush out all the toxins and reset your body. So you should be drinking more water. Lemon just adds a little bit of a kick. It adds in some electrolytes and just allows your body to really detox at the highest level. So warm lemon water in the morning, and then a timer to drink water throughout my day. Next habit. So this is something that I've always pretty much practiced my entire career / adulthood, is making sure that I eat 1 to 2 high protein meals before I go to work. So I have a job where my schedule is a little bit more flexible. I don't have a set schedule. So pretty much what it's been the last couple of weeks is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I work later in the day. So I'll go to work around 2 p.m. and I'll leave work around 11 p.m. And then later in the week, I work at 5 a.m. and I leave work at 2 p.m. So the days when I work late, I make sure to eat breakfast and lunch before I go to work. And then I also bring lunch with me and a high protein snack. And then the other days when I work early in the morning, I will eat at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll wake up at 4, make me a breakfast that is high protein, and then I'll take lunch with me. And then of course I'll eat after work. But the key to that is that I don't think I've ever said this. I know I haven't said it, but I work in the food industry, so I'm working around a lot of food, and it's very tempting to eat what I see because it's right there in my face. But I don't want that to be a part of my lifestyle. Just because I work there doesn't mean that I have to indulge in the culture there when it comes to that. So for me, I choose to not eat it because the food is not healthy whatsoever. And so I make sure that I eat before I go to work, and I bring my own food to work to make sure that I'm still like keeping up with my wellness routine and making sure that I'm eating healthy, eating my protein, eating my fiber, eating my complex carbs, things of that nature. So that's my other habit. It's a part of my routine. I make sure that when it comes to work, I'm eating before I go to work to make sure that I don't go to work craving anything. I'm not going to work hungry, which will make me want to grab whatever I see. And also just making sure that I'm getting in my macronutrients. So like I said, my protein, I'm eating my complex carbs in the morning. So before I go to work, I definitely make sure that I'm eating some type of potato or whole wheat bread, something of that nature, always having fruit. And then of course, like I said, I bring food to work. But the main thing is making sure that I eat before I go to work. That way I'm just setting myself up for success. Number 3, this was a habit that I started last year. I kind of fell out from it and I brought it back this year, and y'all, I'm obsessed with it. So I like to, first of all, I do cardio pretty much every single day, even if it's just a walk. That's pretty much what my cardio is. I'll do either a fast walk with a low incline or a like mid-pace walk with a high incline, and I'll read while I'm walking on the treadmill. So like today I did a 30-minute walk on the treadmill, but my goal every day is to always just read at least 10 pages / read for 20 minutes. That's pretty much about how it balances out, because I'm one of those people, when I read, sometimes I gotta reread stuff over and over again to really get it in my head. So yeah, it takes me a little minute to read. And so like today I did a 30-minute walk, so I read for 20 minutes of that walk. The other 10 minutes I kind of scrolled, did some little tasks I needed to do, things of that nature. But my biggest habit when it comes to this is making sure that I'm reading plus walking on the treadmill at the same time. I call it habit stacking. One of my goals this year is to be a lot more intentional with how much I'm reading, less scrolling, which I'm not a huge scroller. You all know that if you watch my videos. So one of the ways that I'm making sure that I do read my 10 pages is to just do 2 things at once: walking on the treadmill and reading at the same time. I am on a journey to cut and lean out a lot more because I have some trips coming up and I just want to look and feel my best. So I am increasing that to 30 minutes a day. And basically what I do is I do 20 to 30 minutes of walking before I do my workout. Sometimes I'll do it afterwards like I did today. But typically every time I work out, I definitely do the treadmill for 20 to 30 minutes. And that is just one, to make sure that I'm getting in some cardio that's moderate, but also just helping with my overall step goal, which is 10K a day. We'll get to that later. But with that being said, this gives me the opportunity every day to make sure that I'm reading. So like I said, I read while I'm walking on a treadmill. I just finished reading The Power of Now. It took me about 2 weeks to finish that book when it comes to making sure that I'm reading those 10 pages a day. I just started the book Think and Grow Rich the day before yesterday, and my goal is to be done with that by the end of February because it is a thick book. And so that's just how I'm setting myself up for success when it comes to making sure that I'm continuing to feed my mind for my overall wellness, to continue to learn whatever it is I want to learn, become proficient in, become advanced in, become a master of. And the only way you can do that is by being repetitive and actually studying whatever it is that you want to master. So for me, I'm reading books that are really helping me to develop some of those skills that I'm looking to develop, personally and career-wise, mindset-wise, spiritually. So the best way to do that is to make sure that I'm doing it every day. So yeah, I'm reading every single day. And even on the days when I don't exercise, like I work out, I strength train 5 days a week, 4 to 5 days, just depending on the week, but pretty much 5 days a week. 2 of those days are just like where I just walk. So I may not walk as intensely. So I may do like a 45 minute walk, but I won't have an incline on. That way it's an active rest day. I'm not overworking myself, but I'm going to make sure that I read at least 20 minutes of those times. So one of the biggest keys to being productive and getting things done and checking things off your to-do list is habit stacking. What better way to do that than reading and walking at the same time? I mean, it's just a no-brainer. So that's habit number 3. That's something that I brought back into the year, and I am loving it so far. The next habit, and this is still with the health and body category, I am making sure that I drink a full bottle of water before or by the end of my workout. Usually I would take this with me to the gym and I would just start my water intake day for the day with this water bottle. But I decided to kind of take things up a notch and drink a full bottle of water. That way it's a little bit easier to keep track of. I know for a fact that I drink a whole bottle of water, which is probably about 2 to 3 cups of water out of the 8 to 9 that I'm supposed to drink a day. So I drink a full bottle of water during my workout, and even if I don't finish it during my workout, I make sure before I leave the gym, I just go ahead and chug it if I have any left. And like I said, this is just another way to make sure that I'm getting in my hydration, I'm drinking more water, and my digestive system is moving, it's being regulated, it's being flushed, it's being detoxed. That way I can feel my best, I'm not bloated, and I'm making sure that I'm taking care of my body internally. Next thing, I make sure that I sleep 7 hours. 7 hours have been my sweet spot. I thought it was 6 hours, but 6 hours is a little too low. And 8 hours is just not really realistic with my lifestyle. I'm one of those people, I am very transparent when it comes to not doing things that people tell me to do, or vice versa. Like if somebody tell me to do something that actually makes sense, okay, cool. But like this whole 7 to 9 hour thing, that's a range for a reason. You don't have to sleep 9 hours a day, especially if your lifestyle doesn't permit for that. For example, I close at my work pretty much at least 3 days a week, which means I'm not getting home until about 11:15, 11:30, just depending on the day. Typically this week it's been, I get home around like 11:05, 11:10. Cool, love it. But I do have to wake up the next morning. So usually my closing shifts are back to back. So I get off at 11 and then the next day I got to be at work at 2 o'clock. Cool. I love it. I don't have to, work late and then have to be back at work the next morning early. So what I do is I go to the gym before I go to work, which means that I have to get up at a certain time to go to the gym, come back home, eat my breakfast, do whatever content stuff, other things that I do outside of work, have my time for that before I go into my job, because I'm one of those people, I do not believe in investing all of your time into a job. You need to be taking care of yourself outside of a job. So for me, what that looks like is I go to bed around, honestly, it's like 12:30-ish. That sounds really bad, but I make sure I don't wake up until my alarm is not set anytime before 7 o'clock. Honestly, lately, I've been getting up around 8 o'clock, but I make sure that I get my 7 hours of sleep. I am not going to subject myself to, I want to be a 5 a.m. girly, but I'm getting home at 12 o'clock. No, I'm making sure that I get my sleep, and that is just very important. And honestly, I'm not tired. I don't feel sluggish. I don't feel like I don't have any energy. Getting my sleep has been very helpful to my overall wellness lately, because I did have a little of a bad relationship with it, because I felt like I still needed to wake up at like 6 a.m. to go to the gym and do all the things. But I realized as long as I'm using my time wisely, I can still get things done. So like I said, I'm making sure that I get in my 7 hours of sleep. That's my sweet spot. 6 hours is too low. 8 hours, I don't need that much. 7 hours is perfect. If I need 8 hours, I will do that. Or if I want 8 hours, I should say, I would do it like on days today. I did that today. Today's my off day, and I was able to sleep till about 8 o'clock. I loved it. But typically I'm making sure that I get my 7 hours of sleep. So I'm waking up pretty much at 7:15 every day. But get your sleep, figure out what works for you. Don't let people tell you what you need to do. Trial and error, test things, look at your results, look at your data, figure out what works for you, and go from there. Don't conform yourself to what people tell you to do. Sometimes you need 6 hours, sometimes you need 9 hours. You just figure out what works for you. Okay, next one is getting my 10K steps a day. That's a no-brainer. For all the people who don't know, if you're not getting your steps in on a daily basis, you're missing out. Whether it's for your mental health, whether it's for your physical health, but especially for your physical health, you need to be getting in your steps. You need to be moving your body regularly. Does that mean you need to go outside and walk for 4 miles? No. I work a job where I'm not sitting, and I love it. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about me, and I'm actually gonna do a separate video about this. I have learned what type of jobs work for me and what jobs don't work for me. I do not do well sitting down all day. I don't want to say I got ADHD. I don't like to claim that type of stuff over my life. But I'm one of those people, if I'm going to work for somebody, if I'm going to be an employee, I need to be busy the entire time. I do not do well when I'm not busy. So for me, I get in so many steps at my job. I literally made a post on my Instagram story the other day. I ended my night with like 14,000 steps. And that's only with a 20-minute walk for my workout and then walking at work. 14,000 steps. 10K steps is like, I believe the range is like 8 to 10,000 steps. Yes, going to the gym and strength training is great for you, but you still need to make sure that throughout your day, you're getting in movement. You're doing things around the house. You are maybe going for a little 15, 20-minute walk a couple of times a day. Or while you're at work on your break, you go for a walk after you eat. Whatever the case is, you need to be making sure that you're not just sedentary and sitting down for most of your day. It's not healthy. It's not good for your joints. It's not good for your back. And it's not good for your mental health, because most of the time, if you're sitting down, you're either watching TV, you're overeating, you are scrolling, you are doing too much sleeping to where you're not being productive, and you are avoiding what you need to do. There's a lot of negative signs correlated to being sedentary and just like not moving your body. So make sure you're moving your body, get in your steps. Mine is 10,000 steps. So like today is one of those days. I don't even have to think about it, because like I said, I am so active at work. I know for a fact I get in my steps when I'm at work. But let's just say on a day like today, I know that I'm not going to get in my steps if I just go off on my workout. Right now, I am at 5,392 steps. So I'm going to make sure that I go for another walk at some point of my day. I'm taking this day to chill. I already went to the grocery store, I went to the gym, and I'm chilling right now in between time, and then I'm gonna cook at some point. But I'm also gonna make sure that I go and I walk on the treadmill and get in my 30-minute walk. It's gonna be, y'all, that scared the heck out of me. That terrified me. Okay, sounded like somebody was trying to get in here. But anyways, I'm gonna make sure that I go and I walk on a treadmill for about 30 minutes to make sure that I get in my 10,000 steps. So like I said, that is for my overall mental health, but definitely for my not my spiritual health, my physical health as well. Having 10K steps definitely helped me to slim down a lot. Walking more helped me to slim down a lot, and it's low impact. It doesn't cost anything. You can do it outside. You can do it on the treadmill. If you have an apartment gym, or if you already have a gym membership, it doesn't cost you a lot to get in 10,000 steps. So move your body, add that to one of your habits for 2026, because we are looking to become the best version of ourselves, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And then lastly, to end this category of health and body, I make sure that I strength train 4 times a week. I am not a bodybuilder. I don't really care about my stats when it comes to what I'm lifting, how much I'm lifting, what can I bench, what am I squatting. I don't care about that stuff. I just make sure that I am progressively overloading every week, depending on my training phase or my program. But I make sure that I go to the gym and strength train 4 days a week. If you don't know, strength training is very, very important for your health, not just so you can look good, but also for your health when it comes to your bone density, especially as you get older. As you age, your bone density does increase, especially as women. Having weak muscles negatively impacts you in so many ways when it comes to your joints, especially. You need to make sure that we're all getting older, whether you are 18 or 19, we are getting older, but you want to set those habits now while you're in your early 20s, or if you're in your teens. You want to go ahead and set the habit and the routines now, so that as you age and get older, strength training will be second nature to you. Also, I love to strength train because I'm somebody who believes in challenging yourself consistently. And y'all, going to the gym is hard. It's not easy, especially taking the time out to go. But also, I have a very low pain tolerance, so even strength training, it doesn't hurt, but like, it's definitely a little painful. You know, it's not comfortable. So I like to do it because it's continuing to train my mind to do hard things. It's letting me know that I can do hard things. I can push myself. I can reach goals no matter how hard it is. I just gotta persevere and be resilient. So I love going to the gym for that mental aspect as well. But of course, it all started with me wanting to have a healthier body. So strength training 4 days a week minimum is my current routine. It used to be 6 days when I first started. I kind of fluctuate between the two, but 4 is like my sweet spot. Now we're going to get into the mind and spirit category. I have 3 that I want to touch on really quick. So this is something new that I brought into 2026, and that is doing a weekly fast. So it could be a fast from secular music, it could be a fast from junk food, it could be a fast from eating out completely, it could be a fast from watching any TV show. But basically, I want to do better at building my mental discipline and not giving my body what it wants all the time. I'm pretty good with that in certain avenues, but when it comes to those things that are a little bit more second nature to me, like grabbing something sweet or listening to some of the songs that I like to hear, some of the secular music, I want to grow stronger mentally when it comes to not allowing these things to control me. Like, if I know that I need to listen to a video that I've been saying I want to listen to, but instead I go and grab for music, that lets me know that it has a little bit of control over me. So I need to set myself up for success and help me to be stronger mentally by telling myself no. And so having these weekly fasts is something that I just started. Me and my husband are kind of been talking about fasting a lot. Not for any physical reasons, but just mainly for spiritual and mental reasons. So I'm going to pick different things just depending on the week. Luckily, social media is not an issue for me anymore since I'm not on TikTok. I post on TikTok, as I've said in previous videos, but it's not something that I use for scrolling. I only use it to post. So that's been a huge change in my life. But there are some smaller things, like I said, like I've been wanting sweets more often because I have been eating more sugar, the secular music, the TV shows, just those little things that creep in unconsciously. So weekly fast. This week my fast is from sweets, so I haven't had any sweets this week, and I plan to keep it that way for 7 days, just to have more clarity with my decisions, have more clarity in what I do or don't want, And like I said, just building that overall mental discipline that if I say no, that means no. That doesn't mean, well, maybe, or try to like explain it for myself or try to find ways around it. So that's one of the habits that I'm bringing into 2026. Okay, so this is a habit that I have practiced for a very long time and I have proof of it. But I read the scripture of the day every single morning. And then also I read scriptures from my devotionals every single morning as well. So I have the Bible app on my phone and I have a streak right now. Don't know if y'all can see it, but my streak is at 208. So basically when I wake up in the morning after I say my prayer and I get out of my bed, I have my phone right in front of me while I'm brushing my teeth and I'll read the scripture of the day. Sometimes I'll read it before I even get out of bed, but I try to like wait until I get out of bed to get on my phone. So I read the scripture of the day and basically that just go ahead and sets my mind on positivity. Go ahead and get my mind in alignment with God and just hear what He wanted me to hear for that day. And then with the Bible readings, it's just another way for me to stay connected to the Word, continue to renew my mind, transform the way I think, and just help me to become a better person. So what I'll do, I'll typically have an AirPod in and I'll listen to it because on the Bible app, there's a feature on here where you can listen to it. So I'll have it up on my bathroom sink while I'm brushing my teeth, washing my face and all of that, putting on my gym clothes, and I'll listen to 3 chapters a day of the Bible, based on whatever my devotional has for the week. Right now I'm reading Jeremiah, so each day it's been about 3 to 4 chapters of Jeremiah because Jeremiah is one of those bigger books. So it's a little bit more of readings, but like I said, this is all to just stay in alignment with my higher self, with those habits that really, really, truly help me and are helping me to change internally and not externally. We love to focus on things that are outside of us, but we should really do more work internally. Like I said, changing the way we think, changing the way we see things, changing our perspectives, having an open mind to renewal and revelation. So like I said, this is one of the habits that I've been practicing for a while. Sometimes I'll stop when it comes to like reading the scriptures. I'll just get too caught up in the world and get too busy. But this is just an easy way for me to habit stack. Like I said, I'm already brushing my teeth. I'm already, washing my face. And why not just pop an AirPod in and listen to it while I'm already in that mode of reflecting. I'm getting ready for my day. I'm, practicing gratitude. I'm thinking about how great the day is going to be because this is actually what I do. I do think about how great the day is going to be. I always love to keep a positive mindset no matter what's going on around me. So what other way to continue to pour into that than to read the scripture and just, have some new revelation. So that's one of the habits that I've been practicing that I definitely brought into 2026. And then lastly, I listen to a high level video every day. When I say high level, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are like, what does that mean? But if you know, you know. High level, there's high level and there's low level. So I listen to people that are talking about things that are thought-provoking, that are helping me to grow, helping me to think, helping me to become better. So I make sure that I listen to at least one video a day. I used to be very excessive with it, but it just became too much. So I do about 1 to 2 videos max a day. I know y'all probably like, when are you doing all this stuff? I told y'all habit stacking is the key. Typically, I'll listen to a video while I'm doing my strength training. I'll find a 20 to 30 minute video, sometimes 15, 16 minute video, and I will listen to it while I'm working out. The key, guys, is habit stacking. Find ways to bring 2 things into one. So I don't listen to a lot of music. I usually only listen to music when I am on my way to work or when I'm in the car. If I do listen to music, or that's when I use my time to listen to videos. But I also don't like starting a video and not finishing it all in one setting. So I typically don't listen to music or listen to those videos while I'm in a car, because my car ride to work is only about 10 to 12 minutes, sometimes 15 depending on traffic. Most of the videos that I listen to are at least 20 minutes. So it's usually best that I listen to them while I am working out. So listening to these high level videos is so important. You are what you consume. What you put in is what you put out. If you're listening to crap all the time, the trash music, the gossip, the dramatic TV shows, all those things, that is what you're going to talk about. That is what you're going to seek. That is what you're going to want to talk about. But when you consume things that are more positive, that are thought-provoking, that are helping you to grow, that are teaching you something, you're going to be excited and feel motivated to want to talk about those things. So that's what you should be consuming. So I make sure every single day that I listen to some type of video. Today I listened to a video by Haley Gamba. She's a YouTuber slash, I don't really know if she's an influencer. I know her from YouTube. So today I listened to a video. She talked about habits to ditch in 2025, or habits to let go of in 2026. And I loved it. It's stuff that I've heard before, but sometimes you need those reminders. So that's one of the habits that I brought into 2026. I've been doing that for years. That's how I've grown so much, is by listening to a lot of people that are actually smart, that are actually like intelligent, actually very spiritual and connected to their higher source, and people who are actually like wanting to do great things in life and really wanting to serve God and serve their people. I'm not listening to people who are talking about drama and gossip and things of that nature. I'm talking to people who, or I'm listening to people who are talking about big ideas and how there needs to be more change in different ways in our community and in our world. And that's just what I love to hear, and that's what I love to talk about. So these are the habits, my wellness habits. All these things are promoting me being my higher self and really just reaching my goals and just being a leader of my life and having control over my life. So I hope you can take some of these habits. Comment below with some of the things that you brought us in 2026 that have helped you to stay consistent and get things done, and also just feel your overall best. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I will see you guys in the next one.